said it to me once, and it made a lot of sense. He said, people think that you should be weak and you should be docile and then you should be a pacifist. He goes, no, you should be a monster. He said you should be a monster, you should be ruthlessly ambitious, and then learn how to control it. And it's that old expression, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Wow.
It's an old expression, but it makes sense because it doesn't mean that you can't be kind if you're strong, but it does mean you can't be strong if you're weak.
Yeah.
If you're weak, you're fucked.
You don't make men safe by making them weak. In fact, they're much more dangerous when they're weak because they'll stab you in the back when they get the chance, or take advantage of you when they get the chance. You make men safe, let's say, by making them strong, and then by making sure that they're disciplined. It's the men that have the most aggressive and fearless temperaments that can be the best men, but it's like having a very powerful dog. You better discipline it, because otherwise it's going to be a monster.
Okay, so anyways, I'm ready. A little bit about me. My name is Marty Epstein. I'm an editor for BuzzFeed. I also work part-time at my local Starbucks as a barista due to the fact that they are paying for my 14-year-old openly gay transgender offspring's transition surgery. But I also enjoy the free pumpkin spice lattes. They are super yummy. I am also a former writer for the New York Times. I have a college education from the University of Oregon, where I majored in gender studies. I am offended that our children are not receiving affordable gender reassignment surgery along with hormone blockers and access to abortions. This alone is a threat to our democracy, as Justin Trudeau only says. It just shows that you people do not care about our children, and that these are the same people who refuse to obey the science and get fully vaccinated. It's science, people! Science! Science! And you are selfish murderers. I could die. Don't you people care about my life? You racist, insensitive, homophobic pigs. My 14-year-old openly gay sibling's transgender offspring also has two daddies who love their offspring so much, and CPS is working overtime to take their child away. However, my biggest concern is that my sibling's offspring isn't allowed to play in the 8-year-old girls basketball league at the YMCA. This alone is showcasing the worst form of transphobia and is a threat to our democracy. My sibling's transgender offspring feels like an 8-year-old girl. Therefore, they should be able to play in the 8-year-old girls league. Imagine living in a world where a little transgender offspring isn't allowed to follow their dreams because of transphobic Trump supporters and science deniers and conspiracy theorists. I still have nightmares every single night because of the hateful things that Donald Trump said on Twitter. I praise Joe Biden for having the courage and decency to stand up and say that poor kids are just as bright as white kids. In this previous election, decency was on the ballot, and that's what I voted for, not this racist dictator, Donald Trump, the orange man. Transphobia is a spectrum, and it can go from, transphobia is a spectrum.
Your time is up.
There are many shades of it. We have the extreme.
Your time is up. No, your time is up. Thank you. I'll just reiterate that we strive.
There's nothing cringier than a weak man.
I mean, men cringe at weak men. They find them disgusting. It is what it is, man. This is why men look up to strong men that conquer their bodies, their own minds, that advance in life. We look up to and try to replicate, mimic.
All my back, all my legs, the lot, and I ended up in hospital. No, because she won't let me out of the house.
It's not funny though. Can I tell you why it's not funny? If this was the other way around and a woman was sat here and a bloke had locked her in a flat and she had to jump out and injured herself, you lot would not be laughing. Somehow, if it happens to a bloke, that's funny. That's not funny, is it? That isn't.
In 2015, Bernie Sanders woke me up. My openly gay 6-year-old transgender nephew wanted something different than most kids for his birthday. He wanted the COVID-19 vaccine for the greater good of humanity. Because unlike the racist Republicans, he wanted to protect our democracy and take on his social responsibility to do his part for the greater good. He is now gone from this world. He recently had a heart attack. But the doctors say they don't know what caused it, but I know what caused it. It was a stress from the Donald Trump supporters and the science deniers. Racist, bigot, homophobe! Now we're in war with Ukraine and Russia. If we had a nuclear war, it would be worth it if it could just save one life. What? Imagine living in a world where people with selfish science denying, racist, transphobic, xenophobic, misogynistic bigots, where people actually supported democracy and took on their social responsibility. The only way to fight for our democracy is to get vaccinated while supporting Ukraine in the fight. And that is your social responsibility. Everybody. One of the people I look up to, who I've begun to love, is Klaus Schwab, and he said by 2030, you will own nothing and be happy. And I stand with him because I am not selfish. And those who stand against it are selfish.
There's an expression that I've said on this podcast many times, but I'll say it again, is that hard times create hard men. Hard men create soft times. Soft times create soft men. Soft men create hard times. We are now around soft men and hard times.
Yeah.
We're in the time of toxic masculinity, right? Where you could be toxically male.
Yeah.
And then if you're suppressing masculinity, you're going to bring on hard times. It doesn't mean masculinity doesn't mean you're mean.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're angry. It means strength.
Yes.
It means discipline. It means the ability, like you need